you look ravishing.
It's hard to do my hair with this thing because
Wait.
the camera is backwards. The angle is backwards, and so I tell you what we'll do.
Maybe someday we can buy a better camera.
Maybe someday we
I
could.
doubt it.
If you ever we get money, guys.
Okay, so why are we here today? Well, we are here today for the simple reason that it's 2025. It's actually the 3rd, okay? It takes you a minute to get your thing, but we're going to do a year-end recap. Okay, but hold your breath now. This year was effing hard. All right? I mean, don't get me wrong. We are so blessed, all right? God really looks after us. But I'm telling you, Joe Biden, you are a nasty cuss. You are an idiot. Or whoever, because I don't believe it's him, but whoever is running this country. This has just been the most expensive year I have ever witnessed in my life.
It's funny, honestly. We started the year with a firm purpose of no bite year, right? We were going to do really good.
How'd that work out? Oh my God.
Well, the good Lord had other plans for us.
Everything broke.
My kids, they're homeschooled, and each of them have their computer. We replaced 2 of them. Each of them, we replaced my daughter's
3
computer,
cell phones, 2 computers,
we replaced
drawing tablet, because
to,
my one daughter's an artist.
Yeah, we had to replace their monitors, the bed for one of my boys, and our bed.
Computer chairs, because they all seem to break within a week of each other.
There's stuff there, man, that we we sat there the other day kind of going through we're like, what did we do through the year? And it's like, crap.
I take a lot of pictures, so it's like my wife's like, I don't even remember this year. So she goes in there and we start looking at the pictures. And, it's, first of all, if you're one of those parents that when your child turns 18 and you kick them out of the house, you're disgusting, in my opinion, okay? They're not done cooking, and in this world, it's way too expensive.
Yes. You're setting them up to be part of a system where they will be in the hamster wheel going nowhere,
And here's something that I've noticed. One of my boys is going to a pharmacy school, okay? And they send them to what they call clinicals, free labor at different pharmacies and hospitals. And so he can't work while he's doing this program. So we're picking up his bills. So that happened this year. One of my other sons, he's doing welding, but he can still work. But what I've noticed is in this economy for the last few years, no one gets 40 hours a week. Not where I live. 28 hours, maybe around 30 if you're really lucky.
Oh, and only a few people do full time.
Yeah, only a few people. Yeah, they don't want to pay the benefits because it's too expensive. And Joe Biden and this administration, I'm calling him out. Understand this. It's not a world order. All right? I love to help everybody. But when you critique, it's not rocket science, people. The more oil we drill, the better our economy is. Okay? So when these Democrats go out there and look, this whole climate change, in my opinion, is hogwash. All right? It really is. They're using that to control you and to force a more expensive way of life on you. All right? Why are we paying the Taliban $40 million a week? All right? Look, the mistakes that have been made in this with this administration are horrendous. I don't believe it's going to, I don't know if any human being can fix this stuff. You people are so disgusting. And another thing, I mean, I'm hoping for the future, this DEI and racism that comes from the Democratic Party. Oh, I pray to God this stuff just goes out the door. And it goes back to how we were in 1980. Everybody lived together. Everybody was pleasant. All right? But then the Democrats came to power, a.k.a. Barack Obama, and he brought in a wave of racism. And it's just, we teach it in schools. My hopes for the future is the schools don't need to be a federal project. Why? Because it's too tempting to use the schools as a weapon against a political opponent. This year we saw something new, lawfare. The FBI, the DOJ, the federal government. I have absolutely no faith in any of you people. We need real changes.
We lost any faith that we could have had on
the churches. Oh my gosh,
let me say something about the churches. If you go to church every week, and you go to church perhaps on Wednesday evenings, and then you go to the morning show, as I call them, the evening show, on a Sunday, and all of that. Let me ask you, do you ever wonder, why is this building empty all week? How dare we take our precious resources? What else are you doing? Okay, I'm going to take this diversion here for a second.
Okay.
If you ask anybody, they'll tell you that we're supposed to worship in a house of the Lord, yada, yada, yada. Let me tell you something. You're the house of God now. Okay, we're the temple of the Lord.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Second, when they had in the past this temple, okay, there was daily sacrifices there. There was a thriving sacrificial worship thing every single day of the week, every moment of the day. There was fires going, there's all this stuff. We are not doing any of that in those places, and it's a waste of money, effort, and resources, okay? Yeah. So here's a plan. Why don't we take those churches...
Turn them into homeless shelters.
Not so much. Turn them into schools.
Yeah, okay? There you go.
You have a bunch of retired old people wandering around, playing bingo, being troublesome, and all of that. And really, we need to do something with this church. The Church of Jesus Christ, these people, this building, have become useless.
Yeah,
we are
much.
Useless. This year, you know what? Trump decided that he was going to he was going to be okay with abortion. You know what? Some Christians said okay, and some Christians said we're not going to vote for you. Guess what? It didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
We have been the one thing that the Christians have as a tool is our vote, and because we are useless, the vote didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Christians and Republicans are pathetic. I'm sorry. All right, I am really sorry. Trust my word, I am not a Democrat. I disagree with the racism and the anger and the filth that comes from the Democratic Party. You people are disgusting. And I know there's a lot of you people, I'm a good person. No, you're not. I know they convinced you're a good person, but no, you are not. But here's the thing that I admire about you people. You stay the course and you keep voting for your nasty party. No matter how corrupt and how pathetic, you put your blinders on and you pretend like it's not happening and you pretend like you're a good person, okay? Now, the Republicans, they're backstabbing little communists. Right? It's like they don't know how to hold a party line. They don't know how to vote for the ticket. Heck no. Most of the Republicans are nothing more than Democrats. We have a sickness in Washington. It is pathetic. And the Speaker Johnson, oh my God, he caves at the drop of a hat. He gives the Democrats everything they want. You people have got to understand that compromise is what got us here. Okay, we cannot compromise. Either you're a God-fearing Christian conservative or you're not. Now, what we have is both sides of this party are corrupt. These people go to Washington, D.C. to make money. No other reason. They don't care about us. And if you can't see that,
yeah, it's silly.
Right. We need term limits. We have to clean the government out, like the FBI, the Department of Justice. All you people have to go. Do you understand we have created a Justice Department where you don't need a crime? All you need to do is accuse a man of something and try him in the right spot. Okay? If you want to, if they were interested in justice, you'd get a change of venue. But no, when you try an ex-president, which is unheard of, all right, when you try this ex-president and you go to why didn't they try him in Florida? Well, because Florida has got more conservatives. So no, they tried him up there in D.C. Why? Because that's where all of the liberals are. You don't need a crime. With this whole thing with this E. Jean Carroll, right? That's the most pathetic thing. I have the poll thing, right? No, they voted, the jury said he did not rape her. What they found him liable for was he hurt her feelings when he said she's not my type and I didn't do it. So they awarded $5 million to her for that. Why? Because her feelings were hurt. This is not a civil case. This is just you're suing a guy. So the 51% is what you're going on, right? More likely than not, in your opinion. And you're a Democrat and you're a liberal, so that's your opinion. But I'm hoping for the next year we can get away with this lunacy, because if we don't, our country is going to fall. Look at our military. Our military is infested with these people, all right? We have veterans blowing stuff up and running down crowds now.
That's very sad.
All right? Yeah. We have anti-Semitic. This is ridiculous. I am so tired of this Palestinian things. You guys are crying like babies because you're losing a war that you started. It's beyond me. And no, it's not genocide. If it is, it's genocide exactly what we did in World War II when we carpet bombed Germany and we carpet bombed Japan. War is a nasty thing and civilians die. But what we have is an education system that's broke. All right? And, you know, it's just like the abortion thing. I totally agree with you all. There is a choice. The choice is to be made in bed, not when you're murdering a child. And yes, it's a child. And no, it's not your body. It has its own DNA. But having said all this, we can't afford to live this expensive anymore. We can't afford to put up with the nonsense from the churches. We can't afford to put up with the racism coming out of Washington, D.C. All right? It's absolutely disgusting. But having said that, I have high hopes for the future. All right?
Well, I always look at the world in a positive manner. I mean, I know things. I mean,
that's why I love her. We balance each other out, I guess.
The Washington stuff is bad.
It is. But it affects our living.
It's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Okay? So
mine too.
The way I see it is, yeah, things are gonna go up and they get expensive, and so you do without.
Yes.
You know.
Well, we do without this year.
You do without, and then you change your way of living. And the problem was, so let me draw this parallel. In 2008, 7, 8, 9, those years, the market, the real estate market completely and utterly collapsed. Yeah. You guys remember that, right? That's when we got.
That's when we bought a house.
That's when we bought a house.
That's when we could afford to buy a house.
A fixer-upper, okay?
What was it, a fixer-upper?
That house was worth probably less than what we paid, but we paid like $100,000.
110, I believe.
110 in California.
Oh, I
right?
sound like my kids now.
Yeah,
Correcting you.
In California.
Yeah.
And it was a fixer-upper, and we couldn't
Bank foreclosure.
Yeah, we couldn't afford to fix her up. So we did the very best we could with it, and we lived in there happily for, what would you say? What was that, 10 years?
About 10 years, yeah.
Yes, about 10 years, exactly. And so here's the problem. One of the things that happened happens with everybody, and this is kind of a piece of advice for you and for us, and talking to ourselves in a way. The more money you make, okay, the more you spend.
Absolutely.
Okay? It is like an automatic reset button in your brain. Okay, I'm going to make this much more money. I can live in this much better, so to speak, right?
Correct.
And so we spend money left and right. One thing I learned from the 2008 collapse, I used to listen to all kinds of podcasts, and I've always been a listener. And what happened was, one of the reasons we have such a terrible economy problem is that people just walked away from the houses.
Yeah.
Okay? So they interviewed this one guy, and he says, I could have kept the house. I could have kept I could have kept up with the payments had I decided to change my lifestyle. Yeah. Okay? Now, so he had cable TV and the fancy this and that, but he didn't want to change his lifestyle, so he lost the house. Now, what I'm going to tell you something. Those houses that lost all their value, not only did they gain their entire value back, but they gained even more now than they did when they collapsed. So if you hung in there with your house, the house is worth 3, 4, 5 times what it was worth when the market collapsed. What I'm trying to get at is live simply.
Yes.
Always live a simple, quiet life, which is something we're commanded in the Bible, and then you'll be less susceptible to the up and downs of all of this.
But ask yourself, and here's the childishness of the human race is like, all you people got all this imaginary stuff going through your heads. You're either young or you're old. Here's the common sense of it. Ask yourself, are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? Because I got to tell you, the resounding answer to that is no. We went to the grocery store the other day, and we didn't buy that much. We just bought for New Year's dinner.
It's that, yeah.
$400.
Yeah, just filling in the here and there.
And it's not an exaggeration. It costs us more than $600 a month to feed our family. That's not an exaggeration.
A week.
Or a week, sorry, yes. A week. To where before we could spend $1,100 per month, and we're not even buying junk food and soda pops anymore. But before we could spend $1,100 for an entire month, have chips and snacks and soda pops and, pastries, and all that's gone.
Yeah.
Just the bare minimums to survive is $600 a week for us. So, yeah, I mean...
And that's my point exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so you could sit here and bemoan that you can't afford this and that and all that, but you have to first do the work yourself. Okay? You can vote, right? The right way, and try to the person that you think will fix the economy. That's the one powerful thing you have as an American citizen in this country. But then the other thing that you have is personal responsibility. And so things are tough, yes. So you adjust.
We've seen it before.
Yes.
We see it again.
You adjust.
Just adjust.
So now, our life, we used to be able to go out to eat.
Yes.
That doesn't happen anymore.
After church, we always went out to eat. Can't do that no more. Oh, wait. For New Year's, it was New Year's, right? We bought, what was that Chinese place? Panda Express, right? Because my wife didn't want to cook on New Year's Day, right? $200
Yeah.
for a family of 6 for one day of food.
Yeah.
Now, that was a luxury. We don't do that very often. But I do believe the economy will come back in line. Now, what's going to happen when the economy comes back in line is you're going to get the violence from the left. Black Lives Matter, Antifa, now you've got these Palestinian nuts out there. And it always happens. When the economy turns around and good times come, you get the young, ignorant people out there from the left causing violence. And it's not, look, just pay attention to what happens. Look what happened last time. It's going to happen this time. It's already starting. All right? But everybody needs to adjust their lives, right? You've got a chance now, if he makes it all 4 years. I personally believe the left is going to assassinate him. But, my wife says no, but, man, they've tried a whole bunch of times. I mean, a Tesla pickup truck in front of Trump Tower in Las Vegas, and they're saying it was an accident. Well, maybe. Anyway, but what I'm saying is you've got 4 years here, if he makes it, of an economy that's going to turn around. Make the most of this, okay?
And again,
yeah,
just remember that ultimately the one in charge is not Donald Trump.
Nope.
See, I was very surprised. We had one friend, and he was just all down in the glooms and dooms over the economy and the president. And I'm like, so you know who's in charge, right? And he said Joe Biden.
Yeah. All right, look.
No, buddy, friends. Ultimately, the one that's in charge is Jesus Christ, friends. We are in his kingdom, all right? So, whatever these trials and tribulations are bringing to you it's ordained by the Lord for some reason.
And here's...
You need to grow into that.
Here's the thing, okay? This just a story happened to us the other day, right? We go to this grocery store. And there was a woman standing out front, and she was, 50 cents short or something like that, or $1 short on her meal, okay? Because they raised the price of the food at the cantina inside the grocery store. And so I was like, whoa, my wife told me to go in there and buy her meal. So we went in and we bought her meal and we started to leave. And then I was like, no, wait a minute. And I went back and I gave her the little bit of cash that we had. And I told her, I said, buy some food before you leave. Now, this is an older lady that's I know that she's on, Social Security, right? And that's what she lives on. Now, when you raise the price of food, Joe Biden and Democrats, these women starve, okay? I have to tell you right now, at the rate we're killing children in this country, that's why they brought all these criminals in, because we don't have a workforce. But the problem is, anyone that wants to come here, for the most part, these people don't want to work. They want free stuff. And we can't afford that. So now you're giving out free stuff. You're supporting a war overseas between two dictators, which I don't understand. That doesn't concern us. But they've got all you people concerned, or out there convinced that we need to supply the Ukraine with billions and billions of dollars. No, we don't. That's a Europe problem. We don't live in Europe, okay? If NATO wants to do something about that, and I believe that we should not belong to NATO, but if NATO wants to do something about that, let them do something about that, right? But this all comes down to the economy. The left needs to grow up, stop preaching hate, stop the violence, stop preaching this baby genocide stuff. We need to take the schools back. We need to get rid of the chapter and verse people out of the church. Believe it or not, these people can make an argument using the Bible for beating a child. Then ask yourself, I stole this out of a movie, right? What's the line?
What would Jesus do?
There you go!
So, look, I'll say this about all of this. God has some commandments, your 10 commandments and all of that. And we sort of focus on all of that and things like that. But Many people are, even our pastors, preachers, and teachers out there, don't tell you this. And one of the things that makes God the angriest, that makes him come down with wrath, is the oppression of the poor, the homeless, the fatherless, the widows.
Think about it. We're giving away trillions of dollars. And we have people starving on our own streets. And we yell at Mexico for manufacturing fentanyl. Yet America and Canada, we send the drugs down there to the cartel, who redoes it, makes fentanyl, and sends it back here.
So what I would say to that, you guys, here's the thing, okay?
Take care of our own poor first.
Here's the thing now. Again, Washington is going to do what Washington is going to do. Your local government is going to do whatever it is going to do. And you have the one thing, like I keep saying, go vote.
Go vote.
But, okay, people, you have extra resources, okay, just like everybody else, okay? And so before you think about, what vacation I have to give up, what extra luxury we gotta give up, or things like that, how about you think about your neighbor? Your neighbor, one that the lady down the street that you know for a fact is retired. Absolutely. You know for a fact that she's living on a fixed income. What are you doing for her? What are you doing for the little old couple next door that has a retirement, and you can tell when they go to the grocery store, they only buy 2-3 things, and somehow your neighbor is looking very skinny for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
And looky here.
Always, God doesn't expect you to take care of the entire world. He wants you to take care of you in front of you.
Yeah.
Whoever is right there, and your neighbors are right there. If you see someone in the grocery store struggling to find the pennies to pay the groceries, pay their groceries.
But all in all, 2024, despite all my griping about it, it literally, it was good to us. Our family is still here. We're still eating. We've managed to do everything we can do. We came out of 2024 a little bit in debt. We're going to try to work on that better, but that requires a better economy. Remember, it's the economy, stupid. You don't have to like who's in office. But that's the whole thing with this young generation. It's all about me, 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 me. There's no common good. It's all about my little community. And I will add one more thing. Every time I see one of these sick people, protect our trans kids. They're not your kids. They're not. All right? You guys are a self-destructing prophecy. When you die, it ends. You're going after our children in school. We have a bunch of perverted teachers, and this is why the federal government needs to be out of the schools. We need to teach only, math, science, right? Those kind of things. Just real, we don't need to teach anything social. That belongs to the parents, not you freaks. And I mean to tell you, if you are a teacher flying the gay flag in your classroom, you should be locked up. You're a groomer, okay? We need to fix this. We need to do better. And I believe if we can just work on separating the schools from the federal government, okay? If we can get rid of the weirdos out of the church, if we can get people to say, not, what can this country do for me? Nowhere you see these college kids on campus, they're dressed nice, they all have cell phones, they're all a little bit portly, well-fed, and they sit there and say America sucks. How dare you? People are starving in this world, right? But you're taught this nonsense in a government school. It's an indoctrination program. I've never in my life seen kids graduate from college and be dumber than they were when they went in. It's amazing to me. But I think, we're going to slowly work our way out of this. Things have to get better. And, you know.
I mean.
But, yeah, we're sitting here. We ate.
We're not, look, again, personal responsibility. If you're here, okay. Let me speak to the evangelical people that think that Jesus Christ is going to come back and somehow this world is going to get destroyed and all that. If you honestly believe that that's the case, why are you spending a single moment away from telling people, preaching the gospel? You should be walking the streets, warning people that the second coming is coming and that this world is going to end and you're going to go to hell. Now, having said that, we don't believe that.
No.
That is not something that we believe.
It's not something that the Bible says.
It doesn't. But, watch. Here's the thing. This world is going to last a very, 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 very long time. God has said, if you believe certain things, to 1,000 generations, which means if you look at the Bible, probably we're only, it's another 35,000 years, according to my calculations, which could probably be wrong. But what I'm trying to get at is, okay, this world that you have right now is going to last a very long time. And our job
is to make it better.
Make it better for the next people. Why do you keep stepping on my line?
That was a good one. I saw it coming. I'm sorry. Here, start over again.
No, I forget my train of thought. I'm getting old. I forget. But no, this world is supposed to last for a long time. I thought you were
asking me a question.
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Leave it better for your children. And forget generations in the future.
Yeah.
Just your children.
Yeah.
Your grandchildren. The ones that you meet now. Don't you want to leave it better for them?
Here's something I wasn't taught. I learned it on my own. All right? And one of the reasons, besides her being just sexy as hell, one of the reasons why I married my wife is because we were like-minded. We both wanted children, and we wanted our children to do better and to have a better life than we did. Absolutely. We want to improve it. And look, it's okay if you disagree with all of this stuff. Do better.
Yeah.
All right? It's like my kids, they all go through that stage where they think you're the worst parent ever. And I remember one time we're driving in the van, and one of my sons, "You're the worst parents ever." I said, "Really? Okay. In that case, I give you a challenge. Okay, here's the challenge. Do better. Everything that we have done that you disagree with, do better.
Do better.
Right?" And then it was funny because that was like right before he hit the workforce. Then when he hit the workforce and started talking to kids, kids, his own age that he's working with, as a young one, you always start out usually doing a very bad job, pushing shopping carts, flipping hot dogs, that kind of stuff, right? He come home one day and he says, "You know what? I was wrong. You guys are great parents." He goes, "Every one of my friends at work was beat like crazy when he was a kid. A lot of them were kicked out the house. Look, just do better, all right?" But it's like some of you people are in this mindset. It's me, me, me. It's me right now. You are here taking up space, and you're giving nothing to the future except destruction. And that's not healthy. But we have an opportunity now in 2025 to turn things around. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing about beating up children.
If you're beating a boy up, it just makes him mean. Trust me.
Here's the thing, right? My son is, I think for the most part, our kids are polite, well-mannered when it comes to talking.
A little rough around the edges.
Yeah, but for the most part. And he was having, one of my boys was having a conversation with his boss and a couple of co-workers, and he's always, "Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am," he's nice, he's well-mannered and all of that. And that's not, and what she said, "Well, you're always very this and that, well-behaved. Your mom must have beat the crap out of you." And he says, "My mom never raised her hands to us, and neither did my dad." And so, here's it was just, here's the thing.
You don't have to do it.
You don't have to do it. But you know what? It is a lot more work.
It is.
Because you can't just yell at the kid and yell at the kid and yell at the kid and then go get him and smack him. You have to do a lot. You have to get creative as a parent, and
it
takes more work.
There's this girl that works with one of my sons, right? At 18 years old, the mother kicked the girl out of the house. Well, she got lucky and found herself a good guy, and the two of them got married, and now they're having children, right? Well, the woman works with my son. She said, I don't understand. They won't let me see the grandkids. They won't let me come visit. Why should they? You literally threw her out of the house. All right? You stopped being a mother the moment you threw and you made that decision. You threw that child out the house. Why would she want you in her life? Because you have demonstrated one thing and one thing only, that you are very selfish and you will never have that girl's back.
That's right.
That's what we have in America right now. It's a very selfish society. Yeah. And that needs to change. We need to think, what can we do for others? What can I do for this country? What can I do for God? Not what God can do for me and not what my country can do for me. No. Are you making a difference at all? If not, you're a Democrat. Sorry. I know, a little girl crying.
Right. Yeah,
Daddy called me a Democrat. I'm just saying, it's make a difference in the world. Just a small little difference. A little Christian charity. Be nice to someone. Stop throwing your perverse life in everybody's faces.
Let me say this. I don't know if you're familiar with the whole Marvel universe, or is the other one? I don't know. Anyways, he's not. But
I know my kids watch that stuff.
Doctor Strange, right? It was the closing moment of Endgame or whatever. And he's sitting there for hours going through every single scenario that would result in the ability to return everybody back to life and all this, to remove the blink, the snap, the what's his name, the Thanos did, right? Okay. So he spends this whole time looking at the one, and there is only one scenario that works, right? Yeah. And it has to work in exactly this way. Okay. God is kind of like that, but 1,000 times better. He doesn't have to sit there and ponder what will work this way and that, okay? He knows everything that's going to happen in the sequence of events in your life. So, sometimes we feel that what we are doing is very little, very small.
It's what we can do.
Yes. That giving the lady
a meal and some
grocery is nothing.
It's nothing. Putting food in the food bank is nothing. Yeah. But it's all we can do. We're not rich people.
But you don't know how that affects them and who's watching. Okay, I'm gonna tell you one more, and Beth Moore. She's controversial a lot, but we watched this one time about her. She was in the airport. And you need to look at her because she's so funny. I think she's hilarious. And
she talked tongues, man.
She's so funny. I like her. I mean, I don't agree with her theology, but I like her. Okay, so she's in the airport real quick, and she wants to preach the gospel, witness to somebody in a wheelchair. And she's having this inner monologue with God, supposedly, and he says, I wanna give him I wanna witness to him. He says, I don't want you to witness to him. I want you to fix his hair, because he was in a wheelchair and all that, and his hair was all messed up. So she comes over there and asks the guy. He says, can I please brush your hair? And he says, oh yeah, thank you. He says, I'm about to meet my bride, right? And so I haven't had time, and I've been, it hurts to lift my arms and all that. So she said he finds his hairbrush and brushes his hair, right? And that's all there is to it. She says, I wanted to witness to him, and God said, no, you don't witness to him. And so she sits down, back to her own thing, and she says, I don't know, I should have witnessed to him, Lord. And 2 minutes later, somebody shows up and talks to her. She says, you know what I saw what you did. and it just spoke to me, and it was
Yep.
God, and then it just made me feel really good that you would take care of somebody without knowing who they are, yada, yada, yada. You don't know who's watching, okay?
Right.
For sure you know God is watching, okay?
See,
so if you do the thing, even if it's a little thing, because someone is watching, God knows the ripple effect of that one single thing you're doing.
Yeah.
So
there's this, let me explain something to you, right? It was years ago, we were still living in California. Now, here's the California mentality. We were at this hamburger place. What was the name of that real fancy hamburger place I used to take the kids to? But, well, it doesn't matter. But my wife was working, and I decided to just get them out the house and take them to get a hamburger. So me and the 4 kids, we go to this hamburger place, and we all order a meal. Now, panhandling as such in California is against the law. You can't walk into a restaurant and ask for food. For some reason, that's against the law. There was this guy walks in there, and he's hungry. And I said, are you hungry, sir? I said, let me buy you a meal. And he goes, oh, well, maybe just, I'm like, no, just order what you want, right? So the guy orders the food, right? And instantly I am met with pushback from the staff. One of them says, well, you can't do that. I'm like, why not? It's my money. I said, you let me buy meals for all 4 of my kids. They got no money, so I can buy a meal for him. So instantly they made him the meal, and I paid for it, and they didn't like that. But they put it in a to-go bag, so he had to eat outside on the curb. So I go back to the table, and I sit down at the table, and me and the kids are eating our lunch. This woman comes up to me, and she worked there, and she says, I saw what you did. And she says, you've restored my faith in Christ. And I was like, I wasn't thinking that way. I was thinking this guy is hungry. I had a little bit of money. Let's feed him. But that's what I'm saying, the mentality of a lot of people, right?
yeah,
They don't want to help. They want to hurt. It made no difference. These people made money on this man's food, right? But they would rather hurt this man because he's not like them than help.
Yeah.
But I have seen things, this year, and I believe that we're moving forward. It's going to get better now. Yeah. But yeah, here we are talking for 40 minutes. No, it was you this time. I'm swearing. But anyway, I shall let my wife give closing thoughts.
Always live as if God is watching, because He is.
Yes.
Okay? Always live like that. Always think of, I'm still in this one, but someone said, always live as if one person in front of you is Jesus Christ in disguise, and what would you do for Him? And remember, He says, you do to them, it's as if you do to me. So feed the poor, give to the hungry, take care of the ill, pray for them.
Let me tell you something. This has got nothing to do, but this was the highlight of my year, 2024. Well, besides my kids doing their college and his, the pharmacy. Besides my kids.
It's been a blessed year.
It's been a blessed year for us, right? We went into Hobby Lobby, right? My son was driving a car. My youngest son was driving, and he ran over. It was at Academy. He ran something over in the parking lot and gave us a flat tire. So I had one of my sons come pick up the 2 kids, and me and my wife, we took the car to this tire place, right? They were busy. Oh my gosh, it was like standing room only. And I told him, I said, I got a flat tire. Could you fix it for me or give me a new tire, whatever we got to do here? Oh, it's going to take us a while. I promise we'll get to you. And I'm like, okay, fine. So me and my wife sit there. We're watching. She didn't have her phone, so we was watching YouTube shorts back and forth between the 2 of us.
And giggle button.
And everybody is all upset and anxious and all of this stuff. And we're just sitting there. There's nothing you can do. Right?
You gotta wait.
So anyhow, finally the guy comes up and hands us the key and a receipt. And I said, thank you. How much do I owe you? Oh, no, sir. We appreciated your patience and waiting. It's on the house. And I was like, whoa, that was so nice of them, right?
Almost made me cry.
Yeah, almost made us cry. It was so great. It was a freebie, right? So we go to the grocery store and we got a whole bunch of cookies and some donuts and took it back. And these guys were so freaking happy. They must have been starving because they were working hard. Yeah. But anyway, that was the highlight of my year, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Remember, giving is always better than receiving.
It is. For me,
I don't know what kind of people you guys are, but let me tell you, there is no high that can compare to the high that you can get from giving.
Yes.
Giving, making someone smile on a day.
It's like buying that lady food. Made me feel great.
All day.
Anyway.
God put that in us for a reason.
Right. Anyway,
exercise that muscle.
2024 was actually a pretty good year, except for the cost of it, which is this administration. All right, Alexander Mayorkins, you guys should be in jail. All right, this is terrible. You chase Christians around the country. You chased little old ladies around who just stood in a crowd at the Capitol. You're filth. And I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. There's no Christian charity in you. There's the law, and then there's the intent of the law. And you have corrupted the law to a point where I don't know if it can be fixed. All right? You know, it's just like, but oh well. But this was a good year for us, and I believe it was a good year for us because we believe in Christ.
Yeah.
God bless everybody.
There's some real promises there.
There is.
In the Bible. If you do what I say, I will make it good for you. But and sometimes you get trials and you don't know why.
And I know if you're a Democrat, you're sitting there and you just can't understand this. And I understand that.
I guess if I was...
You've been brainwashed.
If I had one wish is throughout the life, it's for everybody to know the mercies of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
To get
to
know
truth.
Jesus.
Yes.
The truth.
Jesus comes with the truth.
Yes. And there's peace and glory in that. Anyways, that's all I got.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. God bless everybody.
We talked forever.
Yeah, we did. Almost an hour here. What's it, 47 minutes. But I'm praying for everybody this year. I hope everybody has a better year than they did last.
Yes.
Anyway, God bless.
God bless.